Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to NoDQ&A video right here on NoDQ.com, as well as the YouTube channel and NoDQ&A videos affiliate, ringsidenews.com. Before we get started here, I wanted to plug the new NoDQ Facebook group. It is facebook.com/groups/NoDQgroup. Also, you can access it at NoDQforums.com. So come join the discussion today. With that being said, let's get down to your questions via spring.me/AaronRift. This first one comes from CPW1978. Cheers, Aaron. Was the curb stop to Dean Ambrose into the polyfoam blocks an injury angle for Dean to film his WWE film Lockdown? Will it hurt his momentum? Will he get revenge on Seth Rollins upon return? And what stipulation should a match be? Well, yes, this was an angle done to temporarily write Dean Ambrose off of WWE television, and in an update from Raw, it looks like they're doing an angle where he escaped from the hospital and he's nowhere to be found, playing into the whole crazy lunatic gimmick that they're doing with him. So I'm thinking he will be back fairly soon. I don't see him being gone for an extended period of time. Normally with these WWE film productions, they don't go on for very long, and also he has a flexible schedule, so he'll be able to make occasional appearances on Raw or whatnot. I don't see him being gone for a long time because they're going to want to keep this feud going with Seth Rollins, and I'm sure we're gonna get another match between these two. Wouldn't surprise me to see it happen at Night of Champions. We still have 4 weeks to go until that event, so WWE can do that match then. And as far as a stipulation for the match, I would like to see something that we haven't seen from them before. I suppose you could keep this feud going longer and have a final blow-off match at Hell in a Cell. That's definitely a possibility. Or you could do some kind of no-holds-barred match. I'm not sure what you do besides a Hell in a Cell at this point. Maybe you could do a ladder match with the briefcase on the line. But you definitely have to up the ante with this next match. And, they might want to just hold off until Hell in a Cell and do the Hell in a Cell match then. But, they could do another match. I'm thinking maybe Hell in a Cell because they've already had 2 matches now. They're one apiece. Well, no, they're not one apiece. Actually, Seth Rollins has won twice now. So, regardless of the case, I see Dean Ambrose coming back and getting his revenge and winning that match against Seth Rollins. So, whether it happens at Night of Champions or Hell in a Cell, I mean, that just depends on how the filming goes. But if he's going to come back for Night of Champions, one would think that they would do some kind of big stipulation. Not really sure what they would do. If they can't think of something good, then hold off until Hell in a Cell. All right, this one comes from Knowledge Allah. Hey Aaron, with Alberto Del Rio and Rey Mysterio both appearing on the AAA pay-per-view, do you think the WWE will pursue legal action against them? Please answer in video. Well, WWE is very protective of their trademarks and their copyrights. So, they normally go after people that violate, the copyright laws. But with AAA, apparently they're not too concerned about WWE taking action against them. They went ahead and had Alberto Del Rio come out with his theme music. And, on one hand, WWE may not want to get too involved in this. They're very concerned about the whole racism card that's being played, and they don't want the negative publicity that would go along with taking legal action against AAA. So, wouldn't surprise me if WWE eventually just gives in and lets Rey Mysterio go to AAA. I mean, they may let his contract run out, but I think it's in WWE's best interest to just let him go and let it be the end instead of keeping him around and not utilizing him at all. And, just put this whole thing behind them. Let Del Rio work in AAA, let Mysterio go there, and just be done with it. Don't, if WWE does take legal action against them, it's just going to keep the story going. It's going to, increase the headlines, and it's going to get people talking about WWE in perhaps a negative fashion, and people accusing WWE of being racists. So it might be in their best interest just to try to end the situation now before it continues to escalate. All right, this one comes from Tyrell Bass. Do you think Daniel Bryan was going to get the beating that John Cena got instead? I think that in all likelihood, we were going to see Daniel Bryan get destroyed. Maybe not in the same fashion that Cena did, but I think the original plan was for Daniel Bryan to defend the title against Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam, and Brock Lesnar would have won the title. I don't know if it would have been that one-sided. Maybe it would have been a little bit more of a competitive match. But then again, it's Daniel Bryan, so it very well could have just been a very one-sided destruction from Brock Lesnar. So who knows? But I do think that beating is still coming, though. I think when Daniel Bryan is ready to come back, and Brock Lesnar is still the champion, if Daniel Bryan comes back, say, Royal Rumble, I could definitely see him in a match with Brock Lesnar and getting a big beating. Maybe not the kind that John Cena got. Maybe Daniel Bryan will get more offense. Maybe they'll have him make a big comeback. But if Daniel Bryan does come back, I could very well see him going down to Brock Lesnar in a match. But that all depends on his situation when he'll be back. All right, this one comes from Kayfabe Candy Ass. Is it wise for WWE really pushing hard the $9.99 a month rate for the WWE Network when there's a good chance that the price will be higher if they don't get enough subscriptions by next year? It might be $19.99 this time next year. Well, first off, I don't see it increasing to that much. If there is an increase in the WWE Network, I don't see it happening for at least another 6 months to a year. And at that point, if they do increase it, it'll probably be like $12.99 or something like that. I think WWE really doesn't want to increase the price if they don't have to. And right now, they're trying to find other ways to cut costs and work around it so they can still keep the $9.99 price and have the WWE Network be profitable. So, they're looking at other options before they resort to a price increase. And, people will see a price increase as a sign of desperation, too. So I really think that they're going to try and wait as long as possible, see how the international subscriptions go, see how many people subscribe over the next 6 months, and then, down the line decide, do we need to increase the price in order for this network to be financially successful? All right, this next one comes from Calvin Bowman 1. Hey, Aaron, what did you think of the Bryan, Pillman, and Goldust storyline from August and September of 1999? I really enjoyed that storyline a lot. I think that Bryan Pillman was really starting to peak as a performer. He was really coming into his own as a loose cannon, and the whole Attitude Era was starting to develop at this time. And I've said it before in other videos, I really feel that Bryan Pillman was ahead of his time. He was the Attitude Era before the Attitude Era was such a thing. And it was an edgy storyline, and it was very intriguing. And it also gave Goldust something interesting to do. For a while in WWE during that period, the Goldust character was really going nowhere. I mean, once they turned him babyface, he wasn't really getting over with the crowds. And they didn't really have any good storylines for Goldust until the angle with Bryan Pillman. And, it was going to eventually lead to an angle where Marlena was going to actually turn on Goldust and get with Bryan Pillman. And I think it would have been a really entertaining storyline if it had been able to complete. And unfortunately, it never came to be. So, I was a big fan of that storyline. Very edgy, and, it was ahead of its time. All right, this one comes from, I'm going to spell it out here, KEIBF. Coming off a loss against Rusev, I hope Swagger doesn't lose all of his momentum. I think it would be a great idea to turn Sheamus heel now and have the two of them feud for a while over the U.S. belt. Swagger as U.S. champion makes all the sense in the world. Well, unfortunately, I think it's too little too late. It looks to me like WWE is done with the renewed Jack Swagger push. They had him in there, and all along, I think the plan was for Swagger to just be another guy to go down to Rusev, but, he ended up getting a bigger reaction than people were expecting, so, they dragged it out. They had an undecisive finish at Battleground. I called it Money in the Bank last time, Battleground, and then at SummerSlam, they had the blow-off match, and that was the end of the feud. So, at this point, I really don't know where Jack Swagger goes from here. Maybe you could do something with a Sheamus heel turn, but I really don't think that Jack Swagger is in WWE's long-term plans. I think he's just a guy that they can rely on to be a solid mid-card worker, and that's about it. All right, this one comes from Andrew M. McInto. Hey Aaron, keep up the good work with your videos. Will we see the Bella Twins have a match at the next pay-per-view, or will Brie want a rematch from Stephanie? Please answer in video. Greetings from Australia. Well, first off, I don't think it's necessary for Brie and Stephanie to have an immediate rematch. I think right now the heat is on Nikki Bella, and that's the match that you should go with. You know, Brie Bella is focused on her sister, not Stephanie McMahon at this point. So, if you do another Brie versus Stephanie match, I think it's best to hold off on that. There's not really a need to do that rematch right now. Like I said, the heat is on Nikki and Brie, so I'm expecting that to be the next match, and maybe they can have a stipulation where if Brie wins, she'll get a rematch with Stephanie. But wouldn't surprise me either way. I mean, if they don't do another Brie versus Stephanie McMahon match, I would not be surprised. I think that the focus from this point is going to be on the Bella Twins. All right, that'll wrap things up for this edition of No DQ&A video. Thanks as always for watching. If you enjoyed today's video, please share it on Facebook and Twitter. Tell a friend about No DQ&A video, and I will see you guys next time.